We need.
Now she's
Here's
got
a full one. I said, here was another one.
Why that doggone, why they got a little grass when we meet?
Okay, it's working. It's working, Melissa.
Or now.
It's been working. Heather, do you have any problems with it? No, okay, perfect. Worked for me.
What's that?
It's like my phone is doing it now. Melissa, it looks like my phone is doing the recording now. Yes, it's working, because I see it on my phone. See it?
How are you doing that?
Oh, I'm going to turn it off.
Well, don't turn it off. You may turn it on
I'm going to turn my phone off. Yeah, it's got,
I thought the light was green.
I did too.
I think it's working.
Is it on there?
No.
It's our chip meeting today. It's not working.
Well, we don't have, it don't
It's
matter.
fine.
We don't have to have it anyways. All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the April County Council meeting here, April 15th, 2025. All right, first piece of business up is the minutes that were mailed out or emailed to you from our March 18th meeting. We will look for a motion to approve those as presented or with changes if anybody so sees that we need to make a change to the minutes.
I see them at home, they're not in my thing though, but I got them at home. I don't think she's got them either. No, it's back here. Which one?
Right there you go. Right there.
There's March 18th minutes, so yeah, they're in here. I'll make a motion to approve the March meeting minutes.
All right, Brian Grolick makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Susan Harris seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes approved. All right, next up, we'll start here with our additionals. This has been advertised. This is for the Drug Investigation Fund. We talked about this here at our last meeting. It's just the drug seizure monies that we need to reappropriate so the sheriff can use those as they see fit. So look for a motion to approve the additional of $63.50 for the drug seizures money.
Make that motion, Aaron.
Steve Hawk makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dave Fromey seconds. Any further discussion here, board? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, guys, the next thing up is from the coroner was here. She needs the money there for storage and transportation because we didn't know that it would take us so long to get her vehicle, that ambulance, so she needs $3,000. We discussed this last month and it's been advertised, so I'll look for a motion to approve the $3,000 request.
Make a motion, we approve the $3,000
All right, Justin Gross makes a motion. Do I have a second? Dave Cromie makes a second. Any further discussion, board? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up, Melissa's doing this. This is just our old CARES money from the COVID-19. We just got to do an annual appropriation to make sure that we have that if somebody wants to file a claim as we spend the rest of that money. So it's not a county general expense, just appropriation of the money that we still have in that account. So I'll need a motion to approve $41,357 from the COVID-19 expenditures fund.
I'll make that motion, Aaron.
Steve Hawk makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Brian Garlick seconds. Any other discussion here, board? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next up, we have the request from the judge. He's had a jury trial. I know he had another one there last week, so he's when we have those people, we have to feed them and keep them up if the trial is that close to trial. So he's running low on money and got a couple more jury trials coming. So he asked for $7,000 last month. It's been advertised. Look for a motion to approve the $7,000 as advertised.
Motion.
Dave Fromey makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Justin Gross seconds. Any further discussion, board? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, guys, next thing up here is the request for the new boat for water rescue. Stephanie Melton here with EMA. We discussed this last time, advertised it, $70,000. Stephanie's here, probably wish she had her boat last week, but maybe if it floods again, she'll be in business. So we'll look for a motion to approve the $70,000 for the new boat for water rescues.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Brian Garlick makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Susan Harris seconds. Any further discussion, board? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, the next thing's up here, guys, is we had to advertise for the food sanitarian. Then you got the, we can do all these at one, I guess, or we do them one at a time, I guess. I just will do them one at a time. But we need to advertise $30,000 as we hire new food sanitarian. We need an additional there out of 1159 to fill that position for the remainder of the year here for personal services. So I'll look for a motion for $30,000 to cover the food sanitarian salary.
I'll make that motion, Aaron.
Steve Hawk makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Justin Gross seconds. Any other discussion? Hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, guys, we discussed this last time too. Here's the Lockmuir thing to get through the end of that there with is $50,000 to do that. So we'll need a motion out of 1159 to pay the expenses for the rest of the Lockmuir contract for $50,000. Do I have a motion?
Is that supposed to be it now or not? Does anybody know? Does Mindy know?
I'm sorry,
Is that supposed to be it now?
that's it,
Promise?
promise.
Okay.
Until we have to use them again,
Huh?
unless we have to use them again. I mean, they have the positions filled,
We have a position filled,
we
right?
have the positions filled.
Okay. I mean, we did need them before with the old people, so. All right.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to approve the $50,000 for the to finish up our bills with the Lockmuir contract?
I'll make that motion.
Brian Garlick makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Aaron.
Steve Paul. I mean, the positive thing is that is out of the 1159 account, so it's not out of county general money, so that is the positive. So, all right, I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion here? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Then I got one more that, we'd like Angie Elliott to train the new person for 3 weeks, which requires an additional $2,100, for that training program. And, so if we want to move forward with that, we'll need a motion to approve the $2,100, for Angie Elliott to, train the new, food inspector.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Dave Fromey makes that motion. Do I have a second?
And that's coming out 11:59?
11:59 also correct.
I'll second.
Steve Hoff seconds. Any further discussion here, board? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, guys, now we're over to transfers here. I'll get my stuff ready just a second. All right, Sylvia's here if anybody's got questions, but we're just basically, putting this in the right line item for her budget so they can start taking it out of the thing to pay their bills. So we just got to increase the project income and decrease the project income from 11 to, we'll add it to the 1122, take out 1126. That just gives them the ability to spend it there in community corrections. For the two, we can actually do those two together. There's two there, one for $365,945.63, and then one for $22,454. That just takes it, gets it in the right line item, so that they can spend the money. Just it's just basically accounting's all we're doing here with this grant money that they get. So those are the first two transfers. So if we want to take those together, we'd be fine taking those two together. If someone wanted to make a motion, take this.
I make a motion to approve both transfers.
All right, Steve made a motion.
Second.
Second. All right, Dave, do you have a question, sir?
I was just looking at the third setup.
Okay.
Is that, I was curious if that fund has to be 11, has to be 26 like the other two. You see that? You see that? They're both 22s.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what she has, decreasing and increasing.
Okay, all right, it's good.
I think she's.
It's different than the other.
One's taking it out of project income and putting it in office equipment down there in a minute.
Like
But we've got a motion, a second on the first two transfers. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then we'll move down here. We're going to increase the Fund 1122 office equipment, decrease project income there by the 8856 even. If anybody has a question, Sylvia, I'm sure I answered what she's going to buy with that. If you don't have a question, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
Motion.
All right, Dave Fromey made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Susan Harris seconds. All right. Any other discussion, board questions? All right, hearing none. Everybody in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now this is a big one here, folks. The prosecutor needs to increase office supplies by $1, or office equipment by $1.80, and decrease office supplies by $1.80.
She didn't show up to tell us why.
Can we get an explanation on that?
Yeah, I know.
Motion. Move on.
Dave
second
Fromey, Steve Hoff. Any other questions?
I talked to her the other night, and she said the salesman made a mistake in the quote that he quoted her. I mean, he was off by $1.80. I told her, I would have told him, take it out of your pocket. We're not going to do it.
He made the mistake.
We're not going through all this paperwork for $1.80. You take it out of your change and you make it up. They probably we probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in that company over the last 10 years, and we got to do paperwork for $1.80.
Yeah. All right, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Moving down to here. Okay. That's all. There's a thing in here in your binder, guys, with the commissioners take care of this about the sheriff's department. Their generator needs some work. They discussed this here at the last meeting. The commissioners decided they would just repair the one we have, and the sheriff has enough money in her budget to take care of that. Correct, Sheriff?
Yes.
So there's a request here from the sheriff about the generator. We will not have to take action on that. We're just going to repair the generator we have. It says in this thing it could possibly give us 10 more years income or life expectancy out of it. So we're going to take care of that. We will not need a request to do that. All right. So the next thing in our packet here, as we move back, Stephanie's here to talk to us about this. Heather and Jim are here. I guess the effort to curb our insurance, because we've had a lot of claims over the years. I think we kind of took a stance that we're going to try to just pay some of these smaller claims out of cash, because our deductible is almost the same amount as that this quote. So Stephanie had a hit and run accident, damaged the front of your vehicle, right? The front of her vehicle. So she got a quote down here from Robin Rose for the worst case scenario of $55,8834. So we're going to need to, excuse me, folks, figure out what fund we want to take that out of, and advertise it for next month. So Stephanie can get her vehicle fixed.
I do have a comment about that. We had a meeting in the state today over the flooding situation in the storms. So actually, they told me to submit the cost of this too, because I was out doing, we were called in for rotation, so that's what I was out doing for the storm. So they said submit this for part of the reimbursement if we do this declaration. So there's a possibility we can get this back, basically. So let me know that.
All right, guys. So, but for now, we need to pay up front to get it fixed. We'll work with Jim. I think we'll just we do our budget next year. We're going with this. Maybe in the commissioner's budget, we'll just put us a line item in there at that point for like vehicle repairs. And then when we have vehicles damaged, we have a way to do it. We don't always have to come ask for additional. I mean, it's up for you commissioners just to think about. That's just kind of my thought. Yeah, I mean, it's a long time between now and budget hearing, but just something to put on the radar.
4 months, it's gone.
4 months, that's right, Dave.
We
All right.
don't have to figure out which fund to take it.
Right, where do y'all want to take it out of? You just want to pay it out of county general, rainy day? What do you want to pay it out of?
Connie's,
All right.
where we're gonna put that line item in when we next year.
Yeah. All right. So where you want to take it out of county? Just put a repair and maintenance in the EMA budget for now. Put a line in there and add it to her repair and maintenance line.
We put a line in the
I've got a
commissioner budget.
vehicle maintenance line.
Huh?
I've got a vehicle maintenance.
Right. For now, I'd say we just put it in our vehicle maintenance line in the EMA budget. That sound fine with everybody?
Get
All
it-
right.
Get it advertised.
Melissa, will you advertise that vehicle maintenance out of the EMA budget?
I will, which dollar amount?
Just do the whole $5,600 or whatever, and then if we don't need it all, it's fine. Just roll back into county general.
Got it.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we advertise $5,600 out of county general for the EMA vehicle repair.
All right, Dave's made a motion. 5,600.
A second.
Got a second from Steve Hall. Any further discussion, board? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. That is got that. Okay. That's got everything here in our binder. Andrew, legal report.
Nothing.
Nothing, thank you. All right, I don't have any old business. Anybody else have any old business to bring in front of the board tonight? All right, new business.
Well, the sewer request that being presented, just a quick background on it. Don Phillips from the Luce Sewer District approached myself and Jim Seiler about helping extend the main sewer line that's already there in Hatfield on up the street, on Jesse Street, to to accommodate 4 new houses that they know for sure are going to be built now. And the intent is to develop that entire piece of property, which is approximately 50 acres, not quite 50, but close to it. And so it was presented to the commissioners, and they approved the request, and they're asking us to approve the request. It's $87,500 to extend it up Jesse Street. Now, we do have 2 other proposals that would catch all of those lots. Of course, it's more expensive, but after looking over this, the problem I see, it looks to me like we would have to secure easements for it in order to be able to run a sewer line directly down the middle of that piece of property. Whereas the request that the commissioners passed, it's already on county property. It's already on the right of way. So you wouldn't have to have any easements. It is an outstanding piece of property for development. The builder, I spoke with him. He's looking at $350,000 homes, and that's all he builds anyway. I've seen the homes he builds. He does a really nice job. In fact, he just finished up 6 of them out by Ebenezer Cemetery, and he wants to start on his property. He actually has the rights to develop the entire piece of property, and but he wants to take these first 4. He's getting close to retirement age. He said, I don't know how many more he's going to build, but even if he doesn't, we still want to pursue getting that piece of property developed. Do you have anything to add, Jim, to that?
No.
Okay. So this is the map in front of you. Like I think Steve said, he got some other ones. I mean, it's a good piece. It's pretty well. I mean, it's the back here. You all can see there is a creek. It does have some floodplain here. And if you go all the way on GIS down here to County Road 900,
Now that picture
It
was
would-
only part of it.
it will get in the floodplain down here. But so just so you know that. I told Steve this earlier. I mean, like, a limiting factor of a lot of our development around here you want to say something, Tom?
Well, I just got a question. Is that just the cost for the trunk line and doesn't count laterals or hookups?
No, that's just the main line, and that's engineering fees and everything.
Okay.
No, that's just the main line. Then the developer will have to have a hookup fee.
Yeah, they'll be out there cost.
That's right. That's right. It doesn't pay for the developer's part of it.
Yeah, right along the line floods right there, Ryan. Yeah.
Good question.
But, here's just my thoughts, like getting land we can develop has been one of the harder things that we've had to come by in the county, to be honest. So if the thing, and maybe I'm wrong, I've never developed really anything, but anyways, I don't know if you want to like start building your houses out here along this road and then alienate all this property behind here, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if we could work with the redevelopment commission or somebody and get if we're going to spend the money and help them, I'm in favor of this. I mean, the school corporation needs kids here, and I mean, it's proven that anybody that's ever built anything in the last 5 years, as soon as they build it, somebody moves into it.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's good for our community, but if we're going to work on doing this, I mean.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It will have to have more design to it if you go
Right.
further. Now, it looks landlocked in the picture you've got, but it's not. This property goes all the way to Bullock Town Road, the same road we were on the other day for the Habitat for Humanity groundbreaking. So it does have access to 900, and so that there can be a street put through there. There actually is a couple of streets in there already that run north and south, but that's not in the picture either. So they would have to plat some streets, and probably with a cul-de-sac, to go all the way back to the back of this
Did you all
property.
talk, Heather, I don't know, Jim, I
So
guess.
that's
you're there,
something
so-
you might look into.
Did
for
you all
future
talk about
use.
this is redevelopment any? Heather, Jim?
No, because it was already approved, I mean, we talked about it, but it was already approved with the commissioners.
So you all are in favor of putting the 676.7 feet of pipe in?
The motion passed.
Should we, I guess it's Andrew's question, should we have a contract though, guaranteeing the development, and then once it is built, there could be a reimbursement, and that normally how they do this?
No, I mean, we've given the Everett Sewer Department in Spencer County almost, and we've never got a reimbursement.
So will that be contracting with the sewer department itself, saying we're gonna provide these funds for this specific purpose?
Just,
Or if it's all the same developer, then, I mean, I think that's what is.
I understand what you're saying.
does Luke
The
Sewer have
odds of
any
it
money to put
being
in?
the same developer for the whole property.
Has anybody talked, has y'all talked to Luke Sewer? I mean, how much money do they have to put in? Luke Sewer District, they got some money to put in on it?
I mean, what if they quit after a couple houses?
So the developer owns those 4 lots?
Yes. No, he has access. He has a contract with the owner of all the property to develop the whole thing. He has committed to doing those first 4. And I don't know what kind of agreement he has with the property owner, but it's not like I could go down there and say, hey, I want to buy these lots and build it. I can't do that because the developer now already has the first commitment on it through a contract with the landowner. That's my understanding.
Well, like Aaron said, it looks like you're kind of locked, I mean, if you can build along the front here, how you get into the back? I mean, it seems like it needs to be laid out.
That street actually goes all the way through there.
All the way straight down, but not in behind here. How you
I mean, if these are 1 acre blocks, which I
all
don't
these
know
blocks
this.
are 1 acre on here?
I don't know that, Dave. I'm just saying, if they're 1 acre blocks, you're basically building these houses right on the road of a 3 acre deep block.
Yeah, you're right.
But-
That's what I thought. Should we not move this line?
So if you're gonna do this, you need this is just my opinion, like, I'm not a developer, you all need to or talk to somebody that is, but I'm a farmer. But anyways, you would put a street down the middle of this thing or a loop or something where you could maximize using all 46 acres. I feel like if the guy really is willing to let a man develop this, needs to have some strategy put into it so you can maximize building the most houses on the 46 acres.
Okay, I'm
Because-
gonna interrupt you real quick, because the document that you have in front of you, and there was another document that I printed out, I think I showed you earlier today. There are easements between those parcels, different, and if you just show it on the document.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't
like-
show it on the one.
There is a
If you
street
look-
easement, yes.
If you look at the first line where you're going up Jesse Street, in the GIS system, there are easements in this survey drawing. It just doesn't show up.
That goes
So-
north.
So there's some that go north in between each one of these sections. I just can't find the paper that I had before that was showing it.
I would have
So
thought there would,
this
but now I do have a plan. I have a plan that shows it going all the way through. In fact, now you can see the entire property and it goes all the way to Boystown Road.
It's not that way, it's the other direction.
Okay, this one's different than this one.
Oh, yeah, that one goes all the way
That's
through.
what he's saying, we're saying, let's think about the future here. If we do this plan with this 676 feet, we're gonna be able to utilize it 4 times, and that's it.
Right. That's what,
Okay? If we
exactly.
go with this plan and we stop at the end of 4, because we know that's being developed, but we just add this little extra, now we've got access to 8 lots by adding one little leg to it.
Yeah, actually, you can count the 2 on the end of it too. Or actually it'd be 2.
I think it'd be more, we'd get more bang for our buck by not putting it on Jesse Street. Because we're just gonna we're gonna limit ourselves to, well, I guess you could say.
I mean, I think at this point, it's probably kind of, this is my opinion, I don't know. We probably do need a little more research.
You're
And
talking
future
about,
development
this one.
Yes, I'm saying that makes more sense, even if we don't go the whole way, even if we just stop, right up here with it for now. But
Like
at least
this-
we've got access to
Let me
it.
just show these guys. See, he's
All right,
talking,
one person at a time talk.
he's talking about this one. If you want to take that pass around.
Okay, yeah.
I think what the question today is, do you or do you not approve the funding that the commissioners have already approved or made a motion?
Well, we don't know which plan you all want to go with.
We
And we-
approved the one that I gave Steve.
The one that goes up to Jesse Street.
Yeah, the one that goes up.
The one that I passed out to.
That's the one, because, you know, we've been guaranteed 4 houses. You know, what if no more built?
Then I'm gonna say, no, we need to before we spend this money, we need to think about this a little more and look into it a little more before we're sitting in another situation where we say, oh crap, what did we sign up for?
Well, I think we ought to ask Luce to pay for part of the bill.
Yeah, I think
That's
so
what I'm saying,
too.
there's a lot more, we're not ready to vote on this, absolutely not. There's so much more research needs to be done.
I'll
So
agree.
is this Bullock Town Road over here?
900 north, yeah, or west.
It's right here.
Yeah,
Ranch jumping the gun and going
I agree.
haywire.
I mean, you just gotta make sure we're gonna get the most
What makes most sense?
sense and where you can use the most of the land.
Right.
I'm not against helping them get this done personally. I mean,
No,
it's
but we wanna
everybody's
do
vote.
what makes
To,
the best.
you know, but we need to make sure
I
we get
think
the
that one right
maximum
there,
return.
the estimate on it was 137,000.
That's the one that goes all the way through.
No, that one you got in your hand. That,
So
one
we
that
have,
goes all the way through
How
was
much is it?
188.
Where's the Habitat house on this map?
It would be back to the south of it, about 2 blocks.
you know where,
Down here? No. Okay.
Yes. No, let me see. It'd be back to
Wait a
the
minute, That's
north.
Bullock.
so they've already kind of, you look over here, but anyways.
No, I'm right. It would be back to the south.
I say we just take a motion to table this till we can get some more research to figure out how to maximize our investment, really.
Yeah, I think.
You're making an investment in 4 houses that are gonna be built. I don't know what else you would want.
If we can make a little bit more investment and have the potential for 8 to 10 houses with just a little bit more investment now, that would make more sense.
Well, you've got a line, you're running a line there that you can hook up to.
With only
Can
4.
we use?
But if we move it up a little bit and add just a little length to it to connect that, then all of a sudden we've just opened it up to 8 to 10 lots instead of.
Where's the proposal or the whole line goes through here? Do we have a map of that?
Yeah, I passed it around. What's that?
I got
You got it.
two.
Here it is.
And with that, we don't have to do that whole thing right now. We can do part of it and then continue it on. But at least we'd be set up.
But
But you could actually access those lots the way this is, too. You can access those next 4 by going right straight up to that next lot. You don't have to have the main there.
Are they wanting to develop
Yeah, you can
outside of
access
the 4 lots, for sure? I guess
was
that's the
my
question.
question.
If we're not, is that what they're wanting to do, or are they just wanting to develop the 4 lots?
All I know is 4 lots are committed to right now.
They just want to build infrastructure for.
But it's kind of like what we did down behind the Freedom Bank. Go down there and look at that development. We gave them the streets and helped them with infrastructure, and it has exploded far more than what we expected. Because now you have infrastructure. You're not going to get anything if you don't have some infrastructure.
And the thing of it is, with getting a little bit going right now, maybe the next step blows up on us, just like what Steve said at Freedom Bank. Behind Freedom Bank, all the building that's going up in there. But the first step, I feel like this is a very good first step. Now, if you want to go ahead and take that second step for the bigger area, that'd be fine too. But I'm not saying that this first step can't handle that big area too.
What if they,
It will handle those lots going down the middle. Now, what it probably won't, depend on the elevation, since that drops down to the floodplain on those far north lots, it probably won't catch those.
Yeah, see, where you wouldn't even.
Gravity
breathe
flow.
It won't
that.
catch those.
Anything that's in the floodplain, you
Yeah,
ain't gonna.
it won't catch those, but it would catch those next 4 right there.
you could possibly save on the engineering costs by going ahead and engineering the larger area of 10 lots instead of 4 lots, and then see what that looks like.
Well, we had the one with the line running down through those lots, and it was 137,000, the one that David was talking about.
You have, that was the whole for the
Everything, the engineering and
The
their estimate
engineering.
for installation, yeah.
Everything, yeah.
And is that the only quote that we're gonna get for engineering, or is?
Well, that was through Midwest Engineering, and that's the only company they use, but, you know, I did call Chrisney, and I talked to the utility superintendent over there, and he said that's a pretty, because I was concerned about the cost too, and he said that's a pretty, standard rate.
Well, I mean, I guess from just thinking about it, you know, if it's 130,000 for more lots, and it's 87 for 4 lots, I mean, the ratio of assessed value from 8 to
The
10
only
lots.
question that I would have, and it probably could be done, if you do that, you're gonna have to have secure easements to do that.
I think that that's what the drawing already, it doesn't show.
According to
on
the
there.
drawing that I have. Now, if there's a different drawing shows different, then I stand to
does.
be corrected.
Like,
Okay.
if you're looking at GIS, it doesn't show it on there, but from the actual view that doesn't print, for whatever reason, it doesn't print on the document. There are easements.
But it does show a
like-
street, an easement street, running east and west, right down the middle of the property. Okay?
All right, but what do y'all want to do?
More research. I think we need to plan on developing the whole thing. What is it gonna take to develop the whole thing, and then, okay, this is the section we need to do now. Not, well, let's do this one over here and then worry about the rest later. I think we need to just anticipate the whole thing getting developed, and then, okay, this is the part we're gonna do now. Do it in stages, but it all, I mean, the whole picture needs to be looked at.
I mean, yeah.
Not.
We're not
just-
really in the development business,
No, that's
but, I mean, we are in the, helping them get the infrastructure
helping
business to
In
do it.
helping
But,
sewer.
I mean, we
Utilities.
do have to be smart about our expenditure. I mean, I don't know that we need to be the people, the county council or the commissioners are not responsible for coming up with a plan to develop the guy's grant. I mean, that's,
Should, is the plan commission involved in this yet, or do they need to be?
I mean, it could almost be a redevelopment commission project, right?
It was discussed in there as well,
And
but
then we-
not in depth like this.
Then the county could fund the redevelopment commission and complete the project.
And who can work with Luce to see if we can help them, or if they have no money to, if they need total funding?
I mean, I think that's kind of falls under the responsibility, something that's in the acceptable wheelhouse of redevelopment to do. I mean, we're taking a piece of land and development. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like it's anybody on the county council or the commissioner's responsibility to be in the development business by no means. But if somebody, this is the thing I've said and Dave said, you all heard us say it 100 times. You come with a plan, we'll try, you bring us a plan and we'll try to help you, you know what I mean? To get it
And
done.
that's what we're asking for.
That's what we're asking for, a plan. And
I
I
just
just,
gave you a plan. You have the plan right in front of you.
but is that the
It's on a
best,
piece of paper.
is that the best use of that land?
Well, I guess not.
Let them do it then.
We have a plan.
What if
We
they
gave you a
quit at
plan.
four
Vote it
houses?
up or vote it down.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. I'm not willing to spend money on this.
I mean, that's just a piece of paper with a line on it.
I didn't know plans came on anything else other than paper.
They do, but they probably have, how to use all the lots. I'm not being mean, but I don't know if that's the best use of the money, just to get 4 houses when you could get 30. All right,
What they're gonna have to do, it goes back to what Heather was saying, if there's already a street there and all that's already platted out, that makes a big difference over this picture that we have. And it's possible we could run a line down the middle of it and catch all of it.
So this 676 feet is a street?
That is a street.
it is a street.
I mean, is it being
It's already
used?
there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
If
used
you
for the
look across
houses
the
over here.
street from the end of that line, you'll see a house right there. That's why,
Yeah,
they-
it's maintained by the county.
that's why
Then
they
a dead end,
stopped
does
it
a
there.
dead end down here? The
Yeah,
dead
but
end
that's
is the
just-
last house?
No, that street actually goes all the way to Bullock Town Road.
No, I drove down this afternoon. It dead ends in the field.
But the street is there, it just hasn't been developed.
It's plotted on a map somewhere, it's just not.
It just hasn't been
There's
developed.
an easement.
There
for-
might
It
be
does
an easement.
stop
in
at
the,
that house
in the
right there. They
engineer's
stopped it
drawing,
there
there's an
because
easement for the
there's
road.
nothing beyond.
Currently, I mean, if you drive down there now, you're gonna go on a
The
beach.
survey shows.
But there is on the lot, a thing, a jagged thing. I don't know what it is, but
The physical street stops there.
yes,
The street.
the
is-
pavement stops.
It just
there.
hasn't been developed.
That's cornfield from there on.
I mean, we could go down there and put a street in right now. I mean,
How long till the next two tie into some other street? How far you gotta go?
It's
all-
several feet.
Down Bullock County Road, so you gotta go
yeah.
from here to here, Dave, right here to right here.
It's a pretty good piece,
I'm saying that's,
half a mile.
So the county's got
Jessup Street is
easement,
about 1,000 feet.
quarter mile.
1,000
That's
feet?
already
About a
paved.
quarter of a mile.
okay, so this is about 25, and then I'd say, that's 200 more, so 20, so 1,700 feet to get through. From road to road.
If you did that and you ran that street all the way down through there, now you've got lots on both sides of that street.
But of course, the sewer won't run uphill, so you can only go so far.
But the sewer's already there for those lots. See
I
the,
thought you said it was too low down there.
You got,
in the drain.
down here. it
no,
goes
I'm
back to
talking
the-
about on the other, I'm talking about on the south side. You're talking about the north side?
Yeah,
I'm talking
towards
about the
creek,
side,
okay,
south side,
yeah.
yeah.
South side's high enough that it would drain all the way.
But there's already a
There's a line down
sewer,
there on 900, Dave.
the sewer already runs behind those houses on the south side of the road. So it catches all those lots.
I guess, Steve, is there a timeline that this, if there were a drawing that was produced to extend this line, like they're requesting, and then it's brought to your next council meeting, is there, is that a soon enough timeline for this said builder?
Well, I don't think they'll be building a house in a month,
So
Takes a
maybe
lot
we
longer
do
than
have
that.
time,
Yeah.
if we could get.
Yeah, we can
Midwest
table this,
engineers
no.
To do they can do things with drawings that will be more
Yeah.
user-friendly.
I mean, I just wanna get,
That's a better visual.
I just wanna get the
for
most,
council.
we're here to represent the taxpayers, and I understand that, everybody here understands that we need population growth, and the school needs people and all that. But if we're gonna spend money, we need to make sure we get the maximum benefit for our money to get the maximum houses we can get. And like.
I totally agree.
But, I mean, and if we put it down here, we just committed ourselves. I mean, I'm okay, like telling the people, hey, we'll get you some sewer here.
Yeah.
But it might be behind your house, or it might be in front of your house, I'm okay, I'm not against helping them get some sewer there by no means. But to tell them that we're gonna definitely go with this plan, I don't know that I'm comfortable telling anybody that. That's just my opinion, folks. I mean, I don't get a vote, so. I mean, we can take this money and pay it out of COVID. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we need to investigate a little more, I would agree with that.
I mean,
I like the plan that David had, or even the one that goes all the way to Bullock County Road. I just didn't know if there was an easement there to do that. So we need to find out if there is.
There is, because I asked today.
Okay, if there is, then that's what we need to pursue.
In that area where he's got the 4 lots, it divides up an easement. Every 2 lots, there's an easement.
Okay.
easement for
And
a
it
road,
doesn't
for
show-
easement for a sewer line, or just an easement to put a
Easement for a
driveway?
road.
For a
There's an
road.
Put a
easement
driveway
for
in
a
across that
road
man's property?
in between each one of every 2 lots.
Before all
Going
this
east
started,
and
I
west.
was told that the streets were laid out in it. It's just not on
It's
this
just
map that
not
they
on
gave
the
us.
document, for whatever reason it doesn't, I don't know. GIS is not perfect
Right, I
when
agree,
it prints
100%.
out. But when you get down into the parcels, there are easements. Because I asked the same.
Does
question.
somebody have the actual plot map on file? Does it on the file, in the file?
Probably.
Probably the Plan Commission ought to have one on file.
We have a
Or the
subdivision.
recorder's office would have the
Subdivision.
surveyed document.
I mean,
If it's plotted, you think you're pretty sure it's plotted?
Yeah.
oh, it's plotted because it's
It's
in 1
plotted.
acre things.
So let's,
Tom?
If I can remember back when we were county commissioners, we approved Jesse Road, David Road. But I remember that was a subdivision, I saw it laid out, there's a document somewhere that shows all those lots in that whole area. And I can't tell you whether there was a road there or not. But the only other suggestion I would have is the developer needs to be before you. I mean, we're all listening and we're talking and, you know, the developer is gonna be able to tell you what he plans to do, where he's gonna put the houses, where he needs this or that.
I think at
Is
this
that
time, the
Midwestern
developer is not wanting to do.
No, he's not interested in developing the whole thing.
But what
No.
they're saying is that if we're going to.
But if it was there,
this-
it's just like behind Freedom Bank. Now look, we got more than one developer working out there.
Well, if he tied in with the landowner's not gonna let anybody else do it. And that's what I heard earlier.
That's why you gotta see the contract.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of unknowns at this point, you know.
But you know, you probably need to know where you plan on putting those houses exactly.
Mhm.
And to me, he'd be the one that would be coming, making the request, but
I mean, I would think, like, if these, whoever this engineer is, could look at, this is what you do and you're a civil engineer for a living, you could figure out, look at this and say like, this is how, this is my piece of ground, and this is how you get the most bang for your buck out of your piece of ground.
I want that.
I mean, that would be good for us, them, everybody, you know what I mean? I just think that's my plan, or that's my thoughts, so.
Yeah, we want to make sure we don't do anything that makes it harder in the
It
future,
is,
I agree.
but-
or more expensive in the future.
In fact, I was gonna make a motion, we table this till the next
Because
meeting until we get some more information.
I hate to
I'll
just see,
second that motion.
I hate to just see the sewer line extended, 4 houses built and nothing ever happened there in the next 20 years. I hate to see that.
Or we do those 4 right now, and then all it costs, all of a sudden this costs us 3 times as much or something stupid, because we didn't think a little bit before we jumped to these 4.
I mean, the price now is 87.5, and the next price up is 130. You're going from a assessed valuation of like 300 tons. You're looking at 1.2 million to 3.8 million just by $70,000 worth of investment potentially. So that's the way I view it.
Right.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second to table this. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor, aye? Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion tabled. All right. Any other new business need to be brought in front of the council tonight? Sherry? Go ahead.
The opioid settlement money. I talked to the commissioners about approval to get $16,672 from that. It's for 8 AEDs. Most of our AEDs were grant funded. We have them, but we are 8 short with the new vehicles and the new staff that we're hiring. So I was asking for that. We approved, the commissioners already approved it. And so I'm asking to see if you guys want to give this approval to purchase of AEDs.
How much was it again, Sheriff?
$16,672, and that buys 8, and these are the ones that are recommended by Jane Stout.
Okay. All right, guys. We would need a motion to advertise out of the opiate money settlement to advertise $16,672 to have AEDs in our sheriff's cars, because most of the time, or a lot of times, they are the first people on the scene. So.
Are you taking it unrestricted or restricted?
That I do
I
not know.
haven't looked yet because this just kind of came up fast.
It just came up at the
I haven't had a chance to
commissioners
see
meeting.
what's left in, I need to see which one, make sure it qualifies under both and what we have the most funding in. I haven't got that far yet.
I know we've bought, items for 80 equipment
Restricted.
before.
Yeah, no, 100,000 I think is in the opiate restricted. And I think that would definitely fall into it.
Okay. We'll let her make the decision which one we take to advertise out. I'm just looking for a motion to advertise
I'll make that motion.
out of the opiate funds, so I was gonna tell her. Say, and then she can figure out which one needs to come out. All right, Justin Gross made a motion. Do I have a second? Dave Froman makes a second. Any further discussion? Dave Froman? All right, everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, anything else, Sheriff?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, all right, any other business needs to be brought up tonight?
I just
Sir?
got a simple question. What happened when my property taxes doubled this year?
Yeah, I can answer on it. So, it's kind of a couple, let me ask you this first, where do you live at?
It's right outside of Hatfield.
In the county? Okay. Yeah, so, Probably if you look at your card on your thing, probably your assessment of the value of your house went up, because those kind of are fixed over, like they put all the properties that sell in the county into this thing, and then it comes up with kind of like what per square foot based on the bathrooms, the houses, blah, blah, blah. So you got a small assessment in your house, and then American Electric Power, AEP out there, they had for a long time, one of those units, and I don't know if it's one or two, but one of those units was, number 2, was held by investors, okay? So the value of that whole place out there was around $700 million was the value of American Electric Power. So when that American Electric Power bought that second unit back from the investors, they bought it back for a discount. So when you buy something like that, it's assessed by the state, and so the assessment of that facility out there went down $211 million. So when you take that out of the total pool, the $211 million out of the total pool, that's roughly at the, I don't know what the Lutz rate is, but in the Ohio Township rate, that's about a $3 million savings that they got when they did this transfer from one person back, from one entity back to the other. And then, so the way the property taxes work, unfortunately for everybody else, is we have to make up the $300 million because their assessed evaluations went down. And you know, Dave's the veteran on here forever. He's been on this thing for a long time. The county's actually in 2 years in a row have had like 2 unfortunate incidents that happened. So last year, Cleveland Cliffs bought AK Steel, okay? And then when that happened, they then qualified for this discount that the state legislator put in to keep the steel mills in business in northern Indiana. So you could take the base depreciation level of your floor from 30% to 10%. So that we lost about $200 million there last year, which was 10% of the county's assessed evaluation. And then the same thing happened with us with the AEP thing. So we've lost 10% more. And then unfortunately for me and you and everybody else in here, we now have to pay more taxes. Now I don't know if that answers your question.
It did.
But if you want to, and if afterwards, if you got more questions, I'll be glad to. And Dave, if you want to add something or anybody else?
Another thing, how many square feet roughly is your house?
I don't know that.
Okay, well, if you look,
All I know is my property value went up $15,000.
yeah,
And my property tax went up double.
yeah, well, I tell you, on
Find out why.
Yeah, no,
on
it's-
residential property, you get the state allows you, they call it a homestead deduction. And then they also have what they call a supplemental deduction. And both of those numbers take a certain number off your total assessed value. Okay, if your home's not super big, those 2 numbers take a good chunk off of your assessed value to where maybe there's not a whole lot of assessed value that you're paying tax on. Okay, it's a small assessed value because those 2 numbers take a big chunk off. Now, if your assessed value say jumps $15,000 or $20,000 from last year, you've already took those numbers off of last year's smaller number. So that new stuff, you're paying tax on that completely. You know what I'm saying? You may go from paying tax on $15,000 or $20,000 to $30,000 or $40,000 in 1 year because you've already used the deductions, and that it affects smaller homes more. The percentage increase is greater on smaller homes.
Yeah, just 3-bedroom house.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just increased $15,000 and my taxes doubled.
Right.
I just want to know why.
Yeah.
And the main question people are asking is, are we spending double the amount of money?
No.
That's what people are asking, like, what are you guys spending the money on?
No,
Well,
I
that's
just
not the
want to know
case.
why, and that gentleman there explained it to me.
Yeah.
I see what happened.
It's pretty, and property taxes, it takes, I mean, it's pretty complicated, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now, you know, I mean, we next year, you know, we should definitely trend back in this more assessed evaluation, bar none other major thing we can't see coming. So we should actually probably, for the short term at least, be on the top of the bell curve and be on our way back down next year.
Yeah, we had 2 things happen in the last 2 years that have never happened in our lifetime, most of us our lifetime. We had our two biggest taxpayers,
Right.
AEP, and it used to be AK Steel. AK Steel got bought out by a company called Cleveland Cliff. Cleveland Cliff has a blast furnace in the state of Indiana, which allows them to use Pool 5, they call it Pool 5 depreciation schedule. AK Steel couldn't use that because they didn't have a blast furnace. So AK Steel was paying property taxes on a floor of 30% of their personal property. Come down to 30%, that was they were paying. When Cleveland Cliff bought this, they now qualified for the Pool 5, which has a 10% floor. So they went from paying on $300 million worth of personal property to Cleveland Cliff paying on $100 million worth. We lost $200 million of assessed value, which is 10% of our total in 1 year. And then AEP,
Same
with
thing.
what's going on there, they went and accelerated depreciation. They did the same thing back to back. So 2 years in a row, we lost $200 million.
That's why development in the county is so important, because every time you see a new house go up or a business or something like that, that adds to the assessed valuation, and that helps keep our.
Just gotta get a lot of them to
we
get $200
pay.
million.
Yeah.
But hey, I do appreciate you coming. You're about in the 12 years I've been on the council, about the 5th person that's ever come ask us a question. Yeah.
And the amount of money we raise by property taxes is controlled by the state. They tell us each year how much we can increase it, usually from 2 to 4%. That's how much, I mean, that's all. We can't increase by 10% or 20% or 30%.
Yeah, that's what I thought I seen in that paper, it said 1, 2, maybe 3%, and I'm thinking, double's not no 3%.
Right.
It's-
Yeah.
I figured there was something. that
So
happened.
so what happened is you take all that assessed evaluation out, then it just makes the rate so much higher. So, but the total dollars, what David, that 1, 2, or 3% is what the state tells us. So like if our budget was $10 million last year, we can only, add $300,000 to the budget. So we're not generating any more money, we're not using any more money. I mean, I calculated up, it was a $3 million less that AEP paid, and that just gets divided by all of us.
Yeah, we have to
here in
make
the
that,
county. So
they pay $3 million less, the rest of us pay $3 million more. Because our budgets don't go down, because we can't
And
operate.
we've invested in, the county has, one last thing, we have invested in this an economic development company, RJL Solutions, here to try to get some development here. Because, I mean, that's the secret for all of us having a cheaper tax bills, to try to get some development. And that all, it provides good jobs and the whole 9 yards. So we're trying. But I do appreciate you all coming here and seeing us.
I do have something else I've learned, if nobody else is aware of it, that supplement deduction you're talking about, it went from 40% last year down to 37.5% this year, so that made a little bit of difference.
A little bit, yeah.
The other thing you need to make sure is you're getting all the deductions you qualify for, so the over 65 and veterans, that makes a big difference too.
Yeah, if you can come up to the auditor's office and with your thing, and they can make sure you have all. If you got there's a deduction for if you have a loan, or if you live there, if you all do. If you're a veteran, or if you're over 65, you get a deduction for all that. So if you qualify for any of that, you can bring your paper up here, and they'll make sure you got all those too. So, all right, thank you all. Thanks for coming. All right, any other business? All right, hearing none, everybody in favor of adjourning? I need a motion first, though. Make a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion.
Brian Drawley, second. Susan second, thank you. Everybody in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on.
Actually,
Come on, come on.
But those